All right, so we're diving deep into true crime podcasts today, and we've got something pretty cool lined up, right?
Yeah, sounds interesting.
We're looking at this sample script, and it's for like a fictional podcast trailer called VJ's Dark Insights.
Okay, VJ's Dark Insights.
Yeah, and it's like these trailers are kind of like they're like little sneak peeks, right? They want to hook you, get you
Like a
interested.
movie trailer, right? For your ears.
Exactly, exactly. And this one's got like sound effects and music cues written right into it, which I thought was really neat.
Oh, wow. So we get to see like how they build that whole mood, that spooky atmosphere.
Yeah, like how do they actually make it sound creepy? Like what are the tricks?
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
that's what makes you want to listen, right? Like what are they doing to pull us in?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And right off the bat, the thing that grabbed me was this narrator's voice.
Okay, the narrator.
Yeah, like they describe it as, deep and mysterious.
All right.
And I'm thinking like why is that like a thing in true crime? Like why does that always work?
Well, I think it kind of plays on like, our deeper instincts, right? Like when you hear a voice like that, it sounds like authoritative, Like someone who's seen some stuff.
Yeah, like they've been there, they've seen the darkness.
Exactly. And it's like even though the stuff they're talking about is scary, you trust them, right? Like they're going to guide you through it.
It's like they know the secrets, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like they're whispering these secrets in your ear, but you're not afraid because they're right there with you.
It makes me think of like those old detective movies, like that hard-boiled narration.
Oh yeah, classic.
Yeah, but then I'm thinking like, wouldn't that get old after a while? Like if every true crime podcast has that same deep voice, wouldn't it just become like a cliche?
Right. So I think some podcasts are trying to break that mold, like maybe using a more conversational tone or even injecting a little humor here and there.
So it's about finding their own voice, their own style.
Exactly. It's going to match their content and the overall vibe they're going for, right? Like if a podcast is really focused on like the psychological aspects of a crime, maybe a softer, more analytical voice would work better.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So moving on from the voice, this script's got all these words, like shadows and unknown and twisted
Oh
tale.
yeah, it's like they rated a true crime thesaurus.
Right. And I'm curious, like, what's the strategy behind those words? Like, why are they so common?
Well, I think it's all about creating that picture in your head, Those words make you think of mystery, of danger, of things you don't understand.
It's playing on our curiosity.
Exactly, and that fascination we have with the darker side of people, like why do people do bad things? What secrets are they hiding? It's like they're inviting us into this hidden world.
Like, come with us. We're going to show you the underbelly of society.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what
Yeah.
that's what makes true crime so gripping, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk sound effects.
Yeah.
Because this script's got them.
Ooh, the good stuff.
It's got the ticking clock, the police sirens, even breaking glass, and like a creaking door.
Those are the sounds that just make you jump a little, right?
It's like instant chills. But like why? Why do they work?
Well, I think it's because sound is so powerful, right? It's like it goes straight to your emotions, It's not like you have to think about it, you just react.
You said like it
Mm.
bypasses your brain and goes right to your gut.
Exactly. Like that ticking clock, it's like time is running out, something bad's going to happen, and the sirens, it's like danger, chaos, and the creaking door, oh, that's the best, right? Like what's behind that door? Is it something scary?
It's like they're playing with our fears, like they're turning up the volume on our anxiety.
Right. And that's what keeps you hooked.
Okay, but then we've got the music, and the script mentions this shift from like dark and suspenseful to like upbeat and energetic at the end.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, like, is that just to kind of like lighten the mood a bit? Because it's pretty heavy stuff we're talking about.
Maybe, but I think it's more than that, right? It's like music takes you on a journey, and that shift to upbeat, it's like a reward for coming along for the ride.
Like, hey, we know it's dark, but stick with us. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly. And psychologically it creates this anticipation, You're like, "Okay, that was intense, but I'm ready for more."
It leaves you wanting more. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not just overwhelmed by the darkness.
So we've talked about the voice, the words, the sounds, the music, but what about the overall structure of the trailer? Like it introduces the premise, teases some key themes, promises shocking content, and then ends with that call to action, subscribe.
Right. It's like a little formula they're following.
Yeah, and is that typical for true crime podcast trailers?
Oh, yeah, I think so. It's like it's got to grab your attention, give you a taste of what the show's about, and then leave you wanting more.
Like a good story.
Exactly. It's like, here's the beginning, here's where the tension builds, and now you got to tune in to find out what happens next.
It's amazing how much thought goes into these trailers, It's like it's a whole art form in itself.
Definitely. And it's fascinating how they use these elements to capture our attention, Like they're playing on our psychology, our curiosity, our fears.
And they're doing it all with just sound, which I think is pretty incredible.
Right. It's like they're building this whole world in your mind just with your ears.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Like, when you listen to a true crime podcast, pay attention to how they're using these techniques, how they're crafting that listening experience.
Yeah, because it's more than just telling a story, right? They're creating a mood, an atmosphere, a whole experience.
And it makes you think about the responsibility they have, because these are real stories, real people, real victims.
Exactly. And how do you balance that need to entertain with the sensitivity that these cases deserve?
That's a really important question to consider, and one we should all be thinking about as we engage with true crime content.
Absolutely. And maybe that's a topic for another deep dive sometime.
Definitely. But for now, thanks for joining us on this one, and keep those ears open. You never know what secrets you might uncover.
Until next time.
Stay curious.